Hey, welcome to the show. You're listening to Positive Mindset for Entrepreneurs. This is the show where you discover how to shift your mindset, break through limiting beliefs, and make more money. I am your host, Dana Wilde, and if you want to shift your mindset every day, do remember to subscribe to this channel and get the daily mantra at danawilde.com/mantra. It's like a little jolt of happy in your inbox. As I said, I am your host, Dana Wilde, and I want to talk to you today. I want to reveal a technique that I use for training my brain, manifesting, bringing the future into my reality. It's called scripting. And I was really resistant to this method for a long time, but I found a little hack that works for me, and I thought it might work for you too. So I wanted to share it today. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, scripting is talked about in a lot of different circles. And the gist of it is that you get a journal and you write a story in the journal of your life in the future as though it's already happened. So you write about the things that you want to happen in your future as though you're living them now. And that's the part I always found challenging. So first of all, I don't really consider myself a strong writer. So that was roadblock number one. And then roadblock number two was just writing about stuff in the current tense, even though it was in the future, and it didn't feel believable and I couldn't generate really good feelings around it. So even though I've read about scripting, like I've read whole books on scripting, not even just like one, but many books on scripting. I've heard about it from everybody. I just finally just decided like, okay, it wasn't for me and I just wasn't doing it, or I would do it for a short while and then I would quit. So what finally got me to do it? It came on my radar a few times this last year. And then I started studying about YouTube because I started this YouTube channel. A few months ago, I started studying with a tarot reader who has a really big channel. And he now also is teaching on the side people how to build YouTube channels. So his name is Chris Reck, and I'm going to include his links in the description. He's got the Minnow Tarot, which is his tarot channel that has 800,000 plus subscribers. And then he's got his Dent Makers channel, which is for people who are trying to build businesses using YouTube. So I happened across a video, and I'm going to ballpark the figures that were in this video because for the life of me, I can't find it again. But I saw him talking about his growth on YouTube, his Minnow channel growth. You know, he had 850,000 subscribers, and the video was a couple of years old, few years old, and it said that he was doing scripting. Now, I had just been reading a book on scripting, strangely enough, and then he talked about doing scripting, and then somewhere in the video he said, I used it to grow my channel to 50,000 subscribers or some kind of random number, whatever number it was. And then I looked at the comments, and just a few months after that, somebody said, oh my gosh, and now you're at 100,000. And then, of course, I'm watching this video a few years later, just a short while, really, in YouTube time, and he was at 850,000. So I thought, okay, that's it. Time to figure out scripting. Dana Wilde, get to it and get back to scripting. You know, this is a sign. This is a sign you're supposed to do it. So I had to like figure out a way to make it work for me because I just couldn't go back into doing it the same old way. Now, I will give a shout out to one method that I tried in the past that wasn't bad. And I'm going to share it with you because for some of you, this might be all you need. The method was to sit down and write a letter to yourself as though you're the future you. And so you write, and in fact, I believe I'm going to include the link in the description, but there's even a service that will send it to you. So you write the letter, hi, Dana, congratulations on doing this or that or the other thing. So it's like you're writing yourself an email or you're writing yourself a letter. And honestly, it wasn't a bad method, but it just never stuck until I found this way of doing things. So I even took some lines right out of my own scripting that I'm going to share with you here. What I do now is I write a what if statement in the journal that I'm using for scripting. So the what if statement is kind of like, what if, and think about the dream or the thing that you want to happen. So what if, insert amazing result, what if one of my videos went viral? What if my booking calendar was full, right? What if I grew to X number of dollars in a year, right? So think about that what if thing and insert your dream after the what if statement. Then, after you write the what if statement out, you start scripting with what we like to call like a transition statement in the Train Your Brain Sandbox. So it's just a transition statement kind of to get the juices flowing. So some of my favorites that I take from my own scripting, I remember the day. So it would be like, I remember the day I started my YouTube channel. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that I would go viral, yada, 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 yada. And then you just write whatever free flowing comes out. Another transition statement. I have no idea how this happened, but right. So now you're looking, let's say it's your booking calendar. I have no idea how this happened, but imagine my surprise when I realized my booking calendar was full. And one of the kind of hacks for brain training in general is that, and you don't need to know how things happen, and you don't even have to know in retrospect. And so it becomes really good, easy mantras for putting yourself in the future when you are saying things like, I don't even know what I did. I don't even know how it happened, but suddenly I looked and my booking calendar was full. And I don't even feel like I've been doing anything differently, but strangely enough, it worked. I don't have any idea if there was a step I took that made the change, but it feels so good to have a full booking calendar. I love how it feels. It helps me to feel stable and secure and free. And I feel so good that I'm helping so many people. I love having my booking calendar because it's so full. Right now, notice a few of the things I did there with those sentences. The sentences have to do with feelings. It feels so good. I feel so free. It feels so secure and stable. And benefits of it being that way. I'm helping all these people, right? So stick with feeling words rather than how to words, and you're going to go a lot further with your scripting. Then the other transition statement I can give you that I seem to use all the time is when I first started blank. So it would be something like when I first started my channel, when I first started my business. When I first started my business, I had no idea it would grow so quickly. I was really just out learning and doing all these fun things and trying a lot of things and exploring. And I love to learn. And next thing I knew, I was growing and growing and growing. And it grew so quickly, I could hardly even believe it, but it felt natural. And I love that it happened so quickly. And it feels so good to be on this path. I feel like I'm surfing and riding a wave and getting there. So use the what if statement to get the juices flowing and fill in what if and fill in your biggest dream. And then use the transition statements to write. I remember the day. I have no idea how this happened, but when I first started my blah, 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 or when I first started blank, right? So then write the rest of the story. Now, some people say to do a scripting story every day, and it's not like that's a bad habit or anything. Of course, it's a good habit. If you want to write your scripting story every day, that's totally cool. Here's the thing, though, and this goes for a lot of mindset techniques. When you're looking at mindset techniques like saying perfect language mantras, or doing scripting, or even sometimes like visualization or things like this, I find it's better to do it when you're already feeling good rather than to do it when you're feeling bad. So, for example, if you are already feeling kind of, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Like you don't have to be ecstatic, but like, okay, I'm feeling pretty stable and pretty relaxed. And maybe this would kind of be fun to do a scripting exercise. Now, that's not to say that it's not a good idea to make it a habit of some kind, because otherwise it becomes one of these exercises that you do once and then you don't do it again for 6 months. And, that's okay too. Like there are no hard and fast rules here. However, having said all of that, the ticket is to avoid the hows, avoid the clutching and the grasping, avoid the yearning and the wanting, like, oh, I keep writing this story and it's not happening, Script when you feel good and use it to make you feel even better. What's happened to me this time around since I've started this method of doing the what if statement really in the beginning, the what if statement, is it feels almost more like daydreaming, and it feels like it's, crafting a story. It feels fun. And you get to the point when you're telling this story that it just feels so good. Like you can see it so clearly. It's like watching a, cat video or something. Like, that feeling of joy you get when you watch a funny video or an animal video or a baby animal video. Well, soon you'll find out as you do your scripting, you get that really light, happy feeling of like, oh gosh, what if? What if that happened? It feels like daydreaming. It feels so good. And so you let go of the idea of, oh, I'm doing this to make it happen and I'm doing it because it's got to happen and I'm going to check my numbers to see if it's working. Like, obviously, none of that works. That constricts the creative pathways in the brain and it constricts the reticular activating system from finding the things that work for you. You're kind of telling a story when you're doing that of like, I'm doing this. Why isn't it working? And your brain, your reticular activating system matches, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? But when you do it for the feel good of it, really because it lifts you up and makes you feel good and opens your heart and opens your mind to possibilities and allows you to daydream, allows you to think those big what if questions and not have the answers. Think those big what if questions and literally say, like, I have no idea how this happened. I have no idea how this happened, but, and it really takes away all of that yearning and constrictive thinking. And instead, you feel light and happy and joyful, and you realize how easy it is. And it really frees up so much, right? So let go of the outcome, do it because it feels good. The real fun with this is after you're doing it for a little while, add this piece to it if you can. So let's say you're doing something like building a business quickly or getting a viral video or whatever the thing is that you want. When you see somebody else who has that thing that you want, tell your brain, I'm seeing that because it's working. That's coming on my radar. My reticular activating system saw this person who has this viral video because my scripting is working. I'm seeing this person who built a business, to X number of $1 million quickly because it's working. It's working. My scripting is working, right? So now what happens when you reinforce your brain during your regular day that your scripting is working? Now it's like double time. So you're combining everything. You're combining the power of what if with daydreaming and that feel good place of daydreaming. You're combining the power of letting go of the how by saying, I don't know how it happened, or I remember the day I started my podcast. I had no idea it would do this or do that, right? You're letting go of the how and you're reinforcing the future by when you see people who do it, you reinforce it by saying, oh, this is working. My brain is seeing these things. My RAS is seeing these things because of the scripting I've been doing. It's already working. Finally, the last point I want to make that's important is that whether or not you script, you will be successful. Sometimes I think people give these techniques and it's this idea of like, oh, you better do this thing. This is the thing that you're missing. And if you don't do it, look out. Truthfully, for real, 1,000%, Whether or not you script, you will be successful because you're a brain trainer. You're here, you're watching this video, you got this far into the video, you're interested in this, you know that success happens through your feel good. Success happens because of your positive expectation, because of the story you're telling. Scripting can be another really cool tool for feeling good and juicing up your reticular activating system. Scripting can be a cool tool for that. Uh, Whether or not you script, you will be successful. It's fun if you want to give it a go. If you do try it, or if you even like these ideas, do make a comment. Let me know what you think. Or if you've tried other methods, or read books, or tried these other systems for scripting, let me know what works for you. I would love to hear in the comments. And just know that regardless, you're telling that good story. You're telling that good story about your success. So you're telling the story of, I love being a brain trainer. I love that I can choose what's fun. I love that I can explore new techniques. I love knowing that it's not any one technique that makes my success, but it's the fun in doing it that creates my success. I love knowing that the thoughts I think create my success. I like being a proactive thinker in my head. It feels so good to be the one creating and generating the ideas and the stories in my head. I love that I'm getting this and I'm getting better and better at it. It feels so much easier every time I do it to think those positive thoughts. And I'm getting better and better and better and better and better at being a brain trainer. And I love thinking positive thoughts. And I love moving forward as a brain trainer. I love building my business the feel good way. I love following the feel good. I love that anything I do is building my business when I go into it with an attitude of playfulness and fun and letting go of the outcome and enjoying my life and enjoying the growth that I'm having, enjoying myself building my business. It feels so good to continue to try all these fun little things. And I know that I will be successful, and I am already successful because I'm enjoying the process as I go, and I'm creating my awesome life. And the best part is you're already doing it now. You have totally got this.